And now we come on to the subject of examinations. Examinations at university are not what you would expect. You'd expect them to be all terribly difficult and very secretive, and everybody's trying to catch you out. And that's definitely not the case. Your experience of exams so far has probably been formed by GCSE, A-level and so on. And these check that you have done and remembered everything. The exams at university are merely there to check that you did your coursework, that you did all the exercises that we gave you to do, and they are not there to trick you. In most cases, you'll know exactly what the exam questions are. You may not know the actual words, but you'll know that this topic is going to be tested and that topic is going to be tested. None of it is there to trick you. The trick at university is to get yourself prepared. You need to prepare yourself for exams far more thoroughly than you ever did at GCSE or A-level. Prepare early by using, say, Evernote, and by getting your sources sorted out. Zotero would help you with that. And a good technique is to handwrite, yes, I do mean handwrite, your notes, so you get them in, which language it's in, how it's laid out, doesn't matter, this is for you, but write out some stuff and go through everything that you've done and then cross out the things that you already know. Not the things that, yeah, you're okayish with, but the things that you know. So, which day of the week is it today? Well, yeah, that's easy. So I can cross that out. I don't need to remember that. And what you should be doing is going through these notes time and again, rewriting them, and yes, I do mean writing them, rewriting them each time, crossing out those things that you know. And what you'll end up with is one side of A4 with those special formulae on, or that list of that you find difficult to remember. If you're lucky, you're one of those few people who has an eidetic memory. So when you go into the exam, you can't take your notes in, but there's a proportion of people who can see a sheet of notes exactly as it appears on the page. So if you've written out your notes reasonably clearly, you'll be able to create this list in your brain whilst you're in the exam. You've in effect got your notes with you. You make sure that you only record what you don't know, and you do that well before the exam. You probably start 6 to 8 weeks before the exam creating these notes for each subject. Then there's the exam technique itself. So today is the exam day, and you're at university and you're terribly nervous, and will you get... If you've done the work, you will pass. So the exam technique I would recommend is as follows. First of all, make sure you get there early. There is nothing worse than arriving just a bit late and being anxious before you even start writing a word on paper. Make sure you get there early, because that gives you another chance to look through those sheets of A4 that you've whittled down. You can also work out how much time you have for each question. So divide the number of minutes of the exam by the number of marks, and you work out how many marks per minute you can do. Make sure you work out how long you can spend on each question, and then stick to those timings, more or less. By more or less, I don't mean within 10 minutes or so. I mean within seconds. And obviously you'll finish the sentence you're writing. But stick to those timings. It's terribly easy to write an awful lot on topics that you know a lot about, and then miss the easy marks on topics that you find a little more difficult. Plan each question. So if it's an essay-style question, plan the essay. Write yourself little notes or create a mind map, whatever works for you. If you've got notes, then you go through the notes and you number the points that you want to make. And you do this in pencil and cross it out at the top of the sheet. Anything that's crossed out doesn't get marked. You now have a plan. And then your essay will read far more logically than somebody else who's put in exactly the same points, but merely writes them as if they were coming out of their brain in a random order. Make sure you have a good plan and stick to it. Now you've finished the exam, and make sure you've left enough time to go through and check that you haven't left a knot out. Make sure that you did put in that, oh gosh, I've forgotten the main point was, yeah, and you allow yourself a couple of minutes at the end to go through the exam paper that you've written, making sure that you've got everything. And then they say, put your pens down. And what they mean is, put your pens down. Do not carry on writing. That will be a cause for having you kicked out of the exam. So if they say stop, stop. That's why you have to finish early. Now you've put the pen down, they've collected the paper, and you walk out. The first thing you'll do is meet all the other people who've sat the same exam as you. And a natural human reaction is then to say, oh, and what did you write for question 3? And, oh, I put this for question 4, and so on. And as you walk out of the hall, your marks will go down and down and down in your mind, because everybody's coming in with, oh, well, I wrote this and I wrote that. And that won't be the case. You see, examination questions are there to check that you did the work. As long as you did the work, getting through is extremely easy. Passing at university is simple as long as you do the work. And so if you've done all the work, you will pass. And we may be arguing about, oh, you could have got 5 marks more here or 2 marks more there, but that won't make any difference to your overall grade. What matters is that you are clear, logical, and have done all the work beforehand. And then you're going to get the grade you deserve.